All right, folks. This is Diripan talking to you from onemanmedia.us. And once again, welcome back. That is the very long haul. And it's unexpected, but I have no choice. Uh, so, uh, so first, let's say that today is special day, 11/22, 2017. You add them all up, you're gonna get 16. So that's why it's gonna come to my favorite part. That is just lighting up the candle. TNVHMTKS. TTTSTOMB. That is very beautiful poem. Actually, uh, that is two poems in there because I just take all the first letter of every line to put it in here to remind me, like I say, I try to meditate on these characters every day to survive. So let's say that once again, very special message to the hidden dirty beings. Go ahead, try your best to decode the characters and let's see what you're going to get. And I say, absolutely, these characters and the poem is just not shared to anyone. Absolutely not to anyone. Still, up to this point, I can say that, maybe I'm gonna carry them to my grave, but you never know. Later on, if the condition is right, maybe I'm gonna share to the public, but not right now. So first, let's see what I'm gonna have on the prompter. So I try my best to follow up the prompter because I had the habit, to just wandering around, and that's not good. Costs a lot of time. So let's reassure once again. Uh, like this is the first time I share. Also, I did confirm this to the U.S. consulate in Saigon. At the time, I also tear off tear off the passport once, and I'm not really sure I have to do it again. But up to this point, I just hope it's gonna work in America. But still, many dirty stuff just threw at me lately. So that's why I say I'm still not very sure the condition whether I can stay here or I have once again. And this time I just want to emphasize that this time if it happens, I just hopefully okay we're gonna resolve in a very civilized manner. Uh, shouldn't be any big deal about it. All right. So I try my best to even educate at least the hidden dirty beings in America, because I always say that we are at the top of the world in many fields, almost like all the fields. I did even emphasize to my students when I was teaching English in Vietnam. Even I developed an app named that language of the future. So that's why I say I always try to emphasize yes, we are still the beacon of the world, the hope of the world. So that's why we have to behave and we have to conduct ourselves in the right manner. So, but if I have no choice, I have to leave America again. And even for the last time, Uh, on a paper, the Vietnam communists brought me back to America, but you just never know what the heck is behind the scene. Whether the Obama administration or whether some Vietnamese group working with the administration to bring me back here to just uh, took me out of the communist prison to bring me back. Definitely, I am grateful for, okay, at least not being in a communist prison. But I did challenge them. I challenged them, okay, go ahead, brought me to a public court, and I will defend myself. Even in front of, the representative from the U.S. consulate came to the prison to visit me. I did say that. I say, I want to defend myself in front of the public court. And I only asked the representative that, if possible, yes, I want to have a legal consultant, but everything in the court, I will defend myself. But somehow the communists even pay for my air ticket to get back here. They say that they did try to deport me, but in the paper they lied. They didn't say about it. But what can I say? I got a paper at the airport. I say that yes, I can sign the paper, but I'm not going to agree with everything you say in here. They even mentioned that I was got the mental problem, but I say no, no. The mental problem is from their part. It's not mine. So that's why that is very complicated. But that's why my situation is uncertain. So that's why I say I have to emphasize one more time. Okay, I rather pass away than follow any political parties, including religions. That is one of my smartest decisions of my whole life up to this point. Actually, I declare this one like publicly. I think in 2005, in one of my Vietnamese article, also posted on my website at the time, phạcđthang.net. The article was named 3 năm một chặng đường. Just simple, translated a period of 3 years. A period of 3 years. When I started to try try to get into the entertainment industry down there in the Hollywood area. Actually, for the Vietnamese entertainment industry only. So that's why I say I declared this one long time already. So that's why I also want to share to you guys one of very important poem I wrote. Actually, the only English poem I completed in prison in Albany, Dougherty County jail. No left, no right. I'm on no side. No red, no blue. God knows who's who. No black, no white. I'm on no side. No shit, no bull. God knows who's who. So I just want to remember, I just want to remind to all the folks in Albany again, I'm still here, still fighting. And some of the disgusting, treatment I got from the city, but like I always say, it's not about the city itself or about the people involved in the case. But I did emphasize that, this is a lot bigger. Yeah, because it's been a long time. I'm going to share more later. But okay, now just go. I'm gonna emphasize one more thing uh, about today, but I'm not sure why I didn't see it on the prompter, but I thought I put it up on the prompter already. So today is a very special day also because today President Kennedy, JFK, was assassinated in Dallas. And about the president and also related to Vietnam at the time because President Ngô just was assassinated just 3 weeks before. President Ngô was assassinated on the 2nd of November, and around 3 weeks later, President Kennedy was assassinated. So only during 3 weeks, the hidden dirty being just tried to say farewell to two of the leaders. That's closely related to the Vietnam situation at the time. So, but absolutely, I'm going to come back for more on that later. But also, today is marking a very important, very important, I can say, the turning point of my organization. Yeah, because this is the first time I'm going to introduce to the public uh, onemanmedia.us. Also, I said the first time because I did during the testing I did of course make it available to the public, but I didn't announce anything. So that's why it's only for the testing. But now it is officially right after this video. I will post. Also, I will post this video up and then start the server and try my best to maintain it for the running status. Uh, that is the onemanmedia.us, and at the same time also open my studio for recording services. Anyone want to have the same platform like I'm recording here, the prompter, the background, everything, you can give me a call or just go to my website, try to contact me by the email or my phone number up there. So yes, we can work it out. And also the vocal recording or the piano recording also. So I'm gonna post some short clip about my studio later. But for now, I just want to make the announcement. And at the same time, I released one of my very special software called the Unborn Watch. That is the surveillance software, very special software. Um, so before I'm going to talk more about the software itself because it is very critical for some features. I have one of very special feature called no privacy invasion. This is one of the very best example I think I am qualified to say that I want to teach the technical community a lesson about, okay, no, dirty trick in the technology, software, or in general, the science itself. So I want everyone to see one of very short clip from Einstein himself, because he is the best person to talk about the double edged sword of the science and technology. Yeah, because I still remember, not in this clip, but I still remember that he criticized one of his best friends very very harshly. Yeah, he talked about, okay, just like the axe falling into a very madman. So at the time was one of the best chemists of Germany, Fritz Haber. That guy just used his talent, his knowledge in chemistry to poison, to produce the gas to kill, to do the mass murder uh, in a war. So that's why it's very appropriate to say that, he was the tool of Hitler. And he got the very harsh criticism from Einstein. But not in this clip. But if you want to, I recommend for the technical community, I recommend you guys dig deep into the name Fritz Harper. Dig deep into the name, or you choose to dig deep into the shit yourself. That's your choice. But because I got a lot of attack on my computer. Somebody just suggest that just on a YouTube actually suggest that could be from Bill Gates himself, but I never believe that. I don't think Bill Gates himself is that small. But in general, for the big guy like Microsoft, Google, and Amazon, every big guy like that, we have to play a very, very clean game to make our society working. Okay? No spyware, the dirty stuff in technology and software. So, okay, guys, all the big guys also try your best to absorb this video clip. I think it's very, very special one. So just go ahead. Hopefully you enjoy and learn a lot from this short video clip from Einstein.
We should strive not to use violence in fighting for our cause, but by non-participation in anything you believe is evil.
We are concerned not merely with the technical problem of securing and maintaining peace, but also with the important task of education and enlightenment. Without such freedom, there would have been no Shakespeare, no Goethe, no Newton, no Faraday, no Pasteur, and no Lister. Science has provided the possibility of liberation for human beings from hard labor. When the ideals of humanity are war and conquest, those tools become as dangerous as a razor in the hands of a child of 3. We must not condemn man's inventiveness and patient conquest of the forces of nature because they are being used wrongly. The fate of humanity is entirely dependent upon its moral development.
All right, folks. Yes, if we want to survive, yes, we have to get the moral development very, very straight. Okay? So that's why I say one of the best lessons Einstein, taught us. I just hope that everyone gonna see that is very useful. So, all right. In this video clip, he didn't mention about the act, but he used the very, very, it's very interesting analogy. the razor in the hand of the child, uh, 3 years old child. So just remember, it's also a very good indication. The 3 years old child, maybe the child can use the razor to harm others, or maybe it's possible to harm the child, her or himself. So try to keep that in mind. All right. So let's move on again to the prompter, and let's see what I have in here in the prompter. So also according to the Warren Buffett, with Bill Gates sitting beside Einstein, Steve, and Nathan. And are we grateful enough? At least to me, we're not grateful enough. Einstein is not religious man. Maybe that's the reason why. That's the reason why I do believe we did not have the very proper, respect for him. So okay. Also, I try to emphasize also we do need the national and international day to remember Amsterdam appropriately, especially for the young people. I want to say that when you have the smartphone in your hand, try to pay respect to Amsterdam and try to be grateful. Deal, all right. So. Now, back a little bit to Kennedy and Ngô Đình Diệm, the first Vietnamese president. I just want to say a few more words about them. About the first Vietnamese president, my father said that he was a moral leader. He was a moral leader, very good man. And something in common about these two men is they both deep in the nepotism. Kennedy got Robert Kennedy as a very close advisor, and Ngô Đình Diệm got Ngô Đình Nhu as the special advisor. So that's why I say they deep into the nepotism, and they are both Catholic. In contrast, Kennedy, beside the first lady, he got maybe another 1,000 ladies, uh, uh, and Ngô Đình Diệm got none, according to killing Kennedy from Bill O'Reilly. Uh, Even Bill O'Reilly just is kind of very agitated when he mentioned about it. He didn't know what Kennedy was doing with our nation at the same time, because it his adultery got very dangerous, because even thought about in a book, O'Reilly even mentioned about he could be killed by some girl at a time, try even poison him by some very special chemical. So that's why I say that that's a very different, the contrast between the two men, Ngô Đình Diệm and Kennedy. And also I want to mention that, also about the nepotism, it's got deep into Ngô Đình Diệm family. Because in my view, later on I found out that he cowardly tolerated inappropriate behaviors from his own family's member, especially uh, the wife of Ngô Đình Nhu. So meaning that that's his own sister-in-law. Because I think It's very uneducated for the wife of Ngô Yu. We used to call her Trần Thị Lệ Xuân, so meaning he also used at a time the man named Thích Quảng Đức. Thích Quảng Đức burned himself to protest Ngô Đình Diệm government. And at the time, the wife of Ngô Đình Yu was visiting America. She was in New York and she said something about it's just like the barbecue. And I said, that, oh boy, that is it's so uneducated and it is so inappropriate. Maybe Ngô Đình Diệm got killed because of that. And I think even, I felt empathetic for Ngô Đình Diệm and his family, but absolutely he was a coward. He was a coward. Unfortunately, at the time of the war, I felt very sad for Vietnam because Ho Chi Minh in the north is a big mass murder. He was a tool of the international communists. He killed at least 500,000 people in the north. Even according to the communist document, he killed up to 171,000. But absolutely, we cannot trust the source from the communist document. But from my own source, a lot of people say that absolutely at least 500,000 Vietnamese people at the time. But at the time we didn't have a lot of people, especially in the north. Maybe around 17 million, and he killed 500,000. That's in the north for Ho Chi Minh. That is the biggest criminal of Vietnam at all time. That's to my personal opinion, and I did, straightforwardly tell that to the communist officers when I was in the prison. I straightforwardly in front of them. Also, I did mention in the other video about one of my poems I read right in front of the group of communist doctors. So, but in the South, unfortunately, we didn't have very good leaders also. Ngô Đình Diệm got deep into the ship of nepotism. Later on, we have the whole lot of other so-called leaders like Nguyễn Văn Thiệu and also Dương Văn Minh and those stuff, I don't know. Even my father, he was one of the high-ranking officer in the South, the Republic of the South Vietnam at the time. He was deeply disappointed in Ngô Đình, also in Nguyễn Văn Thiệu and Dương Văn Minh and the so-called leader at the time. So that's why I said, unfortunately for Vietnam, it's just sad, all right? And okay, so of course, I want to remember the president Kennedy and also Ngô Đình Diệm today, but I still have to tell the truth. It's sad. At the same time, if we talk back to JFK, absolutely, his adultery bothered me a lot. Now, they try to treat the reforms like in the case of like the Roy Moore or Senator Franklin. Some stuff like that. I think compared to JFK, I think it's just very minimal. Even for the new release document from the CIA about Martin Luther King Jr. Also very troubling. So that's why I say no to my standard. Is this no? We just have we don't have to choose those kind of leaders. Okay, and we have plenty of the other choice. Why we choose those leaders? Yeah, because but in terms of the trading right now, at first when I heard from Senator McCain, uh, talked about Roy Moore, I said it right away. No, Senator McCain is not that stupid, not that stupid because he's in the political space for over 30 years, so he has to know that. He has to know that this is some kind of of the game. They try to trading some stuff like that because you can see that if in terms of the allegation from the lady just try to talk about President Trump. I do believe that are credible, much more credible compared to Roy Moore's case. So that's why I say somehow I felt like look like again the ruling parties with the manipulation behind the scene. They are doing some sort of trading. All right, so that is enough for the shenanigan stuff. So let's move on to the important topic today for my releases. OneManMedia.us and the studio, and also the Unborn Watch. The surveillance software. Uh, I just want to say briefly about all of these software, the website, the studio, and the surveillance software. Like I said before, one of the big lessons I want to teach the technical community. Okay, no spyware, no privacy invasion. So that's why I did mention on my website. You go to the website onemanmedia.us. You click on the tab, the Unborn Watch. You're gonna read through and you're gonna learn much more about the software. But here I only want to emphasize. Okay, no privacy invasion policy. That's period. And even if I want to send like the area back to my server to make software better, I do ask the permission from the users. So without the user's permission, nothing nothing at all gonna be saved on my on my server. Or actually not actually only something like this is very general, like okay, when you turn on the camera or when you turn off something like that. Yes, I'm gonna record the event to know that whether it is the two activities from the user. But anything kind of a little bit sensitive, like the error information or even the images, the alarm images themselves, not gonna be saved on the server unless the user want to do so. The user want to do so. So that's why I say strictly no privacy invasion, no spyware, anything about it. So I try to make it very fair for everyone. So that's why everyone can use one camera for free. Doesn't matter what kind of religion you belong to. Doesn't matter you gay or not. Doesn't matter what kind of political affiliation you belong to. So absolutely no discrimination. So that's very very two top uh, policies I want to emphasize. No privacy invasion, no discrimination, and the first camera free for all people, for all everyone. I'm not sure how it's going to work with the international community, but I want to find out if it is like expensive to send the text message in case of the alarm going off, or the text or the call. If it costs too much, I cannot afford, so I have to cut it down, or I have to charge especially for the international community. But in terms of for the U.S. Population here, absolutely, what the first camera free, and then the additional camera, I'm going to ask you to support the one man media.us, $10 per camera. So that is the general policy for everyone. And as I also mentioned on the website, if you if you want to amplify the voice of the unborn, and also the amplify word is a very special word. Why? Why? Because I thought that once again somehow President Obama tried to try to hint me something, but I don't care. I don't care. I absolutely don't care at all. Yeah, because I used that word on a website, and only a few days later, at the Bill and Melinda Gates organization, uh, President Obama almost like used the same word. If the case like President Obama tried to follow me very, very closely, I want to say that, hey, what I have, you can talk to me directly. And amplify is not a word for a politician, okay? Amplify is a word for a musician, all right? Musician like me. No, you are a politician not qualified, especially as long as you don't denounce the possible abortion. I'm still calling you as a criminal. So that's why I say you're not qualified to use that term, all right? Okay. So and okay, let's move on to the uh, very special uh, one of the characteristic of the previous online application I developed when I was back in Albany. I want to mention this because it's important. At the time, I was only, I was only had the connection, internet connection at the library of Albany, the main library of the county. So I went there almost every day, including Sunday, uh, to try to use the internet connection to develop my app. And I know that absolutely the hidden dirty beats try to send people to go around me to see what the heck I'm doing. And I just want to mention this because, hey, folks, in Albany City, I'm still here. I'm still fighting. And once again, I want to confirm, okay, this is still me, TD Farm. Here's the proof. At the time, my application, in the background, I had many fetus images in the background, and I had in God we trust on top, and the reflection of the in God we trust in the bottom. In the middle were the images of the fetus. Uh, for those images, I still keep it today. Even you see here in the logo itself, for the one man media, one is the candle. Meaning that man media. So one man media. So I have the image of the fetus right there in the logo. You can see it right now. And that is the image, also the same image I used at the time when I was in Albany developing the online application. And one other, characteristic I want to mention here is I'm not sure Fox News try to mimic me or not, but at the time in the background, I had the the digits zero and one meaning that for the modern technology now, the modern computing, we that is the symbol of the digital technology. So zero and one, just flashing on and off in the background of the application. And later on, somehow, I saw that on Fox News. So that's why I say I'm not really sure. Many hints that the hidden dirty beings try to tell me that there's some sort of connection from a lot, from Fox News, from even CNN when the time, the Pope resigned, and from Glenn Beck, and from many sources. So that's why I say I'm not sure. I took that as the plus sign, but I really hope that for those folks try to send me the behind the scene message, like President Obama also. I just hope for the best because I do think that my cause is very special, and I do need help from all sources to battle this uh, barbaric reality of our nation. Barbaric, I use the word from Senator Rubio. So, okay, and let's go. And also about the Unborn Watch. The Unborn Watch I developed when I was in Vietnam. Now that application is the history because, like I said before, my computer was attacked right on the Mother's Day, right on the Mother's Day, and now that software is history. And I developed the new one. Of course, uh, I, I use some of the techniques, right? Some of the techniques from that old application when I was developing in Vietnam. But now everything is new, even the platform itself. And I do believe this is a very good platform. So I don't want to tell a lot because that is the sake, because of the sake of the security for the software itself. So I don't want to reveal too much. And that's why I say that now the unborn watch is the 2.0, the version 2.0, not 1.0 anymore. Yeah, because I've been using it and testing it intensively. So that's why it's supposed to work very well. But of course, you can always tell me, what I can improve in the software. All right. Okay, let's say again, go back to the prompter again to see uh, what else I have to talk about. Today, the list is very long, so that's why maybe for the later items, I'm going to go very quickly. But later on, I'm going to come back for all the topics, for every topic, I'm going to have a separate video for those topics. But for right now, I just briefly mentioned about a lot of stuff. Okay. So regarding to the, some folks explained to me maybe they have the authority from God to execute the unborn. Okay, I want to send a very special message. Hey, there's no God like that. Just tell me who is the God who approve, the action of, killing the unborn, even when you know the gender of the unborn. Tell me who's the God, and I will put that God in prison. Period. I will put that God in prison. It doesn't matter, God of what religion. Christianity, Muslim, or Buddhism, or Hinduism, anyone. Tell me who's the God that approve to, killing the unborn when we know the gender of the unborn. Tell me, I will put that God in prison. Period. No question and no argument about it. All right. And let's move on to the. Yes, I also want to mention that at the beginning, the Unborn Watch is also a very ambitious project. Yeah, because I did want to develop my own codec, the video codec for the project, but I couldn't get it. You know, simply, it's not good enough. Not good enough in terms of, compared to the existing codec right now, like MP4 or other stuff. It's not good enough. So that's why I say no. I have to abandon the that part of the project. So no more video codec. Maybe later on, if I find a way to get a better result. So I put it back later, but for now, no video codec. And that's very much for the releases of my software and my website. And now let's move on to. Actually, right here, I want to emphasize on something also. Uh, of course, as long as I remain, as I can afford, I try to keep the server up running at all time. And also, it is sensitive here, but I say in the beginning already, as long as I remain in the US, absolutely, I still have the hope and fight for the unborn. Okay? Or even more ambitious, try my best to convert the hidden dirty beings, stop killing the unborn, at least when we know their genders. And some arguments saying that, now they try to muddy the water, saying that, okay, now the gender could be up to over 90 genders they recognize. That's the bullshit. So at least from the doctor, when they try to, when they use the ultrasound to find out the gender of the baby, I want to say that no doctor gonna say that's a gay baby. No doctor gonna say anything else about it. Only say like whether it is a boy or a girl. So I take the word from the doctors. And in terms of the science now, I think even the conservatives from the right, from the hard right, they cannot abandon the science anymore, right? So it's gonna look very stupid if they try to abandon. So that's why I say the left, the right, and the middle, and everyone now try to recognize the science. So for me, as long as we have the doctors, at least three of them, saying that the unborn baby will be a boy or a girl, at that time we don't have the right. We don't have the right to abort anymore. That is the compromise standard for me already. Yeah, because like I said before, it's very tough to say 4 months, or 4 months and 1 day, 4 months, 2 days, or 4 months, 1 second. So that's, but we need to have the timeline somewhere. So that's why let's leave it to the science, right? Let's leave it to the science. And the science tend to move closer to the conception point. Because why? Because right now, we do know already at the time of the conception, we got the DNA. We got the DNA. Try to dig into the genomic medicine, you're going to know right away. Now, they have the DNA at very, very early moment. And from the DNA, now they can even know at what age, the cancer will develop. At what age? Like 45, 50, maybe someone gonna develop the lung cancer, or at 50 or above, they're gonna develop some sign of Alzheimer. So that's why I say now we just leave it to the science. Okay, when they say, of course, it's gonna be the baby girl or baby boy. So at that time, we have to give the unborn a chance to live, okay? Have to do that to recognize the humanity of the whole human race. Because, like I say, USA is indispensable in this world. That's why we have to be the beacon, the true beacon of the whole world, or the world gonna turn into shit. All right. So it's very important. It's very important. Please try your best. Okay, hidden dirty means try to reassess your own strategy relating to the population, relating to try to schedule the resource around the world, because I know that now the U.S. government is, try to touch almost everywhere in the world, in the globe. So that's why I say try your best to reassess the strategy uh, in terms of humanity. All right. So okay. So I also want to mention briefly about yes, things are getting very low in terms of the dirties they throw at me. Uh, but of course, once again, like I say, I'm not very sure. I'm not very sure who. Even in the very obvious example when they try to stop me from going to the gym, attack on my health, right? Attack on my health. So I'm not sure that has anything to do with Obamacare or not, because at the time the Congress tried to repeal the Obamacare, and very early summer, I'm, I'm not very sure how many times they, I think they intentionally break the air conditioner at the gym in my own apartment complex. So, but even with that very obvious example, they use the air conditioner, the keys, and even the the hours that the gym open. They use all kind of trick to stop me from. And even at my own unit here, for the whole summer, I did not a single day. I did not use a single day for the air conditioner. Yeah, because I thought the air conditioner, at least to my own testing. When I turn on the test, it never get down to even 80 degrees. never get down to that. So that's why I say, if I want to leave it on, I have to pay a lot of money for the energy bill. So no, absolutely for the whole summer, no air conditioner in this unit at all. So, you know that, you know how the dirty beings, you know, try to play me and try to compromise me, but I don't care. It doesn't matter. They're gonna kick me out very soon or not, but it doesn't matter to me. The truth is the truth. I'm not sure who. Is it the dirty beings, you know, from outside try to manipulate the people working here, or the people, or the dirty beings, you know, from the top management, or from the local manager? I never know, never have the conclusion for that. Even though I try to talk to the manager many times, but somehow the employee at the office just maybe they try to uh, like not allow me to talk to the manager, because whenever I request, they say she or he is not at the office, or so go somewhere else. At least 3 occasions I request to talk to the manager, but no, absolutely no chance. Okay. So regarding to that, I think I still have something more to talk about when I send them a letter at the beginning of the month. But right now, that's enough. So let's get back and see what the heck I'm still having here. Okay, I did mention about my own server. Keep it running as long as I can afford. Uh, and one different angle about my own situation here is I do know that maybe anywhere I go now, not just here, anywhere I go, maybe I'm gonna have the same, you know, dirty stuff through at me from the dirty beings. So that's why I say, do I have a choice? If they kick me out, yes, of course I have to leave. But if they don't decide to evict me, so maybe I'm gonna just stay here to see what the hell's going, what the hell's gonna happen next. All right. So and also one other angle related to the situation at the gym. I also thought about maybe they try to, you know, prevent me from going to the gym only because they thought I might got hurt by some goats at the gym. So on that note, I want to say that hey, even in Vietnam, somebody just tried to scare me about in terms of the ghosts and some stuff like that. And I still remember I told them, yes, now, around me, I still believe that, yeah, there are ghosts around me, but only for the benign ghosts who try to help me. And all of the, you know, the mean and the evil ghosts, I strangle all of them to death again already. So not to worry about it. All the mean, evil ghosts, no, they don't stand a chance. They don't stand a chance against me. So just forget about it. So that is one of the angles related to the gene. But also related to, like I say, I'm not really sure is there anything to do with Obamacare or not. Uh, that's why I say I want to emphasize here also one of the principles. I'm not going to or or denounce any upcoming policy from the administration as long as the law still allow people to kill the unborn uh, when we know the gender of the unborn. In other terms, as long as the partial birth abortion are still allowed on this land. No, I'm not gonna vote, and I'm not gonna. You see the clip from Amsterdam already. Hey, no participation, no participation at all. For if you participate with the evil, no, that's not right. So that's why I say until we recognize the right to live of the unborn when we know their gender. I'm not going to support any legislation, any bill, even local or in Washington. Absolutely no. All right. So, so to make it clear, all right. So also one of my commitment with this coming back, one of my commitment gonna be I'm gonna upload at least 5 videos every week, 5 videos every week, and share on Facebook, YouTube, and I'm gonna respond to all challenges as long as the challenge in video, so I know specifically who's talking to me, right? So I will respond to those videos. So doesn't matter from who, from my enemy, uh, from my ex-friends, or from my ex, even ex-family. So I know that they still under control of the hidden dirty beings, but as long as yes, they want to, as long as one day for their own, if they want to know something, truly know something, yes, I still respond to anyone with a video, with a video questions or video response to my video. So also I will assess the option to operate one-man media.us as a non-profit organization after a year, after 1 year. Also remain uncertain about how the hidden dirty beings at IRS will treat me and onemanmedia.us. Yeah, because it's very creepy. Somehow a homeless man tried to get back to the job, and then uh, later on, when I was living in Houston, and somehow they said that I owe up to almost $200,000 in tax. So, but when I was working with the local people from IRS, and even call in to the headquarters, I got a feeling that maybe that's a part of the dirty beings, propaganda try to attack me also. So that's why I say I'm not going to say everyone at the IRS belongs to the hidden dirty beings, but I have to say for sure, there are all the dirty beings over there go against me. So also, by the way, I try to remind the law enforcement in general, IRS, police officers, FBI, or even the CIA, or the likes. CIA, according to my father, he got a very strict pronunciation for CIA. He called CIA, and no, he didn't have a very good impression, or he didn't have a very good, I can say, very good assessment for the CIA, because uh, according to him, CIA is a very dirty organization, and even himself, he was working in the Republic of the South Vietnam as a very high-ranking officer in the intelligence. So that's why sometimes I do want to use the word, I'm not really sure, intelligence community, or I have to call the stupidity community because of that, because they try to play very dirty and one occasion when the communist officers came to my home in Vietnam, talked to me about all kind of CIA document, and still remember the colonel in Vietnamese, they call Thượng tá Hoàng Liên Sơn. He mentioned to me about also at the time Ho Chi Minh declared independence. Also, he said there were the CIA officers, standing behind Ho Chi Minh, and also he cited from the CIA about the brutality that Ngô Đình Diệm had against the opposition in the south of Vietnam at the time. Uh, the head chopping machine. But I told them directly, I said, no, even from the CIA, I'm not going to believe them. Because why? So in that situation, you can imagine. So what is my choice? Uh, he, he was the high-ranking officer of the Vietnam Communists. And on the other side, the CIA, the CIA is a very powerful agency of my new country. So who I have to believe in? And unfortunately, no, I believe in none, not CIA, not the communists. And I did find out myself at the time I was in Cần Thơ. Cần Thơ, no, we usually call the capital of we call Tây Đô Minh is all like the capital of the southwest of Vietnam. So at the time I did talk to some retired communists, and even one of them was the very old lady, and she said that yes, even her husband was killed during the escalation of the war, but she did not have the very vicious enmity against the U.S. because according to her, there's nothing like CIA talked about the Ngô Đình Diệm government because nothing about the head chopping was seen. And even in my own family, I did try to verify with some of them about the head chopping machine, but they say that is just the big lie from the communists. So that's why, from my own research, I say that no, not that kind. I do believe my father is saying something about Ngô Đình Diệm. He said that yes, Ngô Đình Diệm was a moral man. The problem from him is what? The nepotism, but not about the head chopping machine, something like that. Absolutely, that's a lie from a communist. The big lie, the big fat lies from a communist. I want to remind the President Trump about it too. So but I also remain hopeful that even in the law enforcement community, hopefully you guys have two sides. One maybe want to go against me, and the other try to support me or so. Hopefully, but like like the time that I was facing the Jackson Beach City's police officers. At the time, somehow, they try to talk to me many times, but many times they all almost like always have like two sides. Try to remind me that they're not in one voice. For one incident, when I was sleeping in my car in the public park, uh, they woke me up and dragged me out of the car, still with my plastic bag, cover my feet because it was very cold. So that's why they dragged me out and did a very brief search and asked me also whether I have any weapon in the car. I say no, absolutely no. I don't even remember I had a knife even in the car. So they didn't do a very careful search, but after that, I asked the lady, the female officer, saying that, so do you allow me to go back to my seat because it's very cold out here? So she was angry at me and saying, no, deny my request. So I said, I have no idea why she was angry at me. So that's why I say, what the heck is going on? What the heck is going on with the police officers? Because it's just one incident. Like I say, it's just one incident. And many times during that time when I was living in my car and I was around the Jacksonville Beach City at the time. So that is only one example, folks. One example. And many, you can say that is an incident, but I don't believe so. From the time I was living in LA area, many shenanigan stuff against me. To the time that I was briefly in Las Vegas and almost anywhere when I was facing the police officers, uh, I I I felt like I've been feeling even to this point. I've been feeling like, and I'm still hopeful that you guys are on two sides, not just one. So, and that's why I just want to remind you guys, all police officers, the CIA, FBI, um, all the organization agencies from the government, uh, just try to think through. Don't be the tool for the hidden dirty beings, to use you, against me. So try to be yourself and try to be, follow your conscience. Follow your conscience, not the hidden dirty beings, because all I'm about is the voice for the unborn, the voice for the unborn, nothing else. Very peaceful man. Uh, in terms of the respect word, it's very tricky, but I say that I try my best to be respectful. But for some creatures, we cannot be respectful. For some creatures, absolutely no. Absolutely no. It doesn't matter what. Okay? So that's why I try to conclude that, for all 30 days of my hunger strikes, including 26 days without drinking, are not enough to teach you guys a lesson. I'm not sure what else I can do to teach the hidden dirty beings, or I can use Clinton's word, the deplorables. Deplorables. Maybe that's obviously uh, inconvertible, deplorable. So that's why I stand. But that's the truth in my own mentality right now. So let's follow your conscience, not the depopulation agenda. Look like it's been a while already. I never, speak that much recently, so that's why I say maybe I got caught up with my throat. So let's move on quickly, and I'm going to move back to these topics later. But quickly, the diversity. Lately, you can hear from the president saying something about diversity is like bad and disaster. I say right away that is just a very stupid comment, very stupid comment. And the question is, so he wants us, or he wants everyone to have the yellow hair just like him? No, that's stupid. And what about the an immigrant like Einstein, okay, who saved our nation, at least according to Warren Buffett. So what about some immigrant like that? So be grateful, be grateful for people like that, right? So maybe later on, all Americans gonna be grateful to me too. But for now, I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it at all. But later on, hopefully, uh, uh, I even remember right now about, see, the former first lady not feeling proud of America, not until her husband became the president of the United States, right? So hopefully I'm going to feel proud of America later. But at this point, I feel absolutely disgusting about our so-called leaders, our so-called leaders. But you think that I'm criticized directly President Trump? No, President Trump and the whole clown in the Senate and the House of Representatives, and even the clowns in the Supreme Court. I do believe that they don't have the true power. I do believe they do not have the true power. So that's why when I call the hidden dirty beings, I mean what? I mean the folks like the folks owning the the Federal Reserve. I mean the folks like controlling the president himself, controlling the senators and the congressmen, women, so the justice, not for those folks in the government. Absolutely, I think just like puppets. So just be clear about it, all right? And somehow I came to the conclusion that Bush the son was the best president in the last 50 years. Not because I'm living in Texas right now, because I call myself an international citizen. It's not just uh, try to belong to the local stuff, no. But I do recognize the effort and the courage from Bush the son. At the time, I remember he was working with Senator Rick Santorum about the bill to ban partial birth abortion. And now I don't know. I don't know any politician that courageous or that stupid to go against the hidden dirty beings. But at least I really appreciate President Bush, the son, and Senator Rich Santorum. I'm not sure now they changing their position or not, but even they change, I'm still here. I'm still here for the unborn. So that's why I say I came to the conclusion, not Reagan, but Bush the son was the best president in the last 50 years. Beyond that, I'm not really sure how to assess, but beyond that, I know that Lincoln, one of my favorite. Lincoln, one of my favorite because even when I was a small child, I learned one of his quotes already when I learned English from my big brother. Uh, Very good quote. Uh, you can fool some of the people in all of the time, and all of the people in some of the time, only some of the time. And we cannot fool all of the people in all of the time. That's from Lincoln, and I love it. And Lincoln also had a lot related to even slavery and civil war stuff. That's why I say, to my own opinion, Lincoln uh, was the best ever for in terms of president of America, of the United States. Uh, but for the last 50 years, I still say that Bush the son is the best. I'm glad that, in terms of diversity, uh, once again, Mr. President, President Trump, I'm very glad the Mayflower's folk did not assimilate into the Cherokees culture. I'm glad they did not assimilate into the Cherokees culture. All right. So for that, it say a lot already. All right. I even tell the Vietnamese people to abandon Chinese New Year, and eventually China will abandon the backward calendar too, not because Japan did so. I told my students about it, and they told me that Japan is no longer celebrating the Lunar New Year. So that's why I just want to emphasize, no, not because Japan did so, but this is my original thought. Original thought, because that calendar is very backward. Backward to the point that, you can say that is laughable, because for every 3 years, they have to add one more month into the calendar to adapt to the Western calendar. So that's why even China eventually, even China eventually, right now they not use the calendar that much. They for everything they use the new calendar, the Western calendar, but they still celebrating the Chinese New Year. But eventually they're gonna stop it, because why? Because if they keep celebrating things like that, the backward stuff like that, they just want to tell the younger generations, hey, we really backward, and we way backward compared to the Western society. So I do believe in the future they will stop celebrating the Chinese New Year, the, the old calendar. And I even challenge my own ancestor in my own music. In my music, I wrote the sentence in the thế kỷ buồn. Việt Nam, quê tôi tội tình gì trời chấp phạt trời ơi. Dân con nghèo đạn pháo bắn tàn tơi. Từng lớp người thịt xương thành mây khói. Okay, briefly translated. I question that. My country, Vietnam, quê tôi, my own country. What kind of crimes we committed? So, ông trời, meaning God in general, trời just doesn't belong to any religion, doesn't belong to Christianity, Buddhism, because those are two, I think, the two most popular religions in Vietnam. No, trời doesn't belong to those kind of religions, but in general, meaning that God. So I say that maybe our ancestors, committed some kind of, horrible crime. So that's why trời punished us. And then I move on to say, my people are very poor. So why we got all kind of, the the bullets, the bullets and the weapons and stuff like the cannons, bullying at us. So, and even more dramatically, I say that, a lot of people, especially in the war, in the Vietnam War, uh, got burned, to become the smoke. Uh, thịt xương thành mây khói, their own flesh and the bone uh, just got burned, to the smoke. So that's why I say, for me, it is no thing about, I favor this culture and try to look down on the other culture or stuff. But the main thing is I want to emphasize that, we just, we, as we move on, we progress as the human race. We have to drop all kind of, shenanigans and silly stuff. So that's very natural, very natural. So bear with me on that. And about the media, mm, the first thing I want to say, uh, to me, the media sophisticated, sophisticatedly controlled by the hidden dirty being of all the mainstream media, including Fox. Yeah, because for the folks at Fox, they usually say that they're not in the mainstream media, but I say, hey, that is just to stop the bullshit because it's if you have the power to carry the presidency to term, meaning that you got a lot of power, and you cannot deny that you are one of the mainstream. So that's why I put Fox in the mainstream media also. Even they deny, but it doesn't matter. Uh, Again, yeah, like I say, for the mainstream media, maybe they even have more power than the politicians themselves. Uh, they only allowed to talk about certain topics, okay, like abortion. The unborn deserve a lot more attention, okay. Uh, Somebody must tell the public, how they execute the unborn when they do the post-birth abortion. And all the arguments I saw on Fox, mainly on Fox, other channels, maybe they don't mention at all. They only mention about the right for the woman to kill or to kill the unborn, but they didn't mention about anything about the opposition. But only on Fox, I heard the argument, but not enough because not effective argument. They didn't mention anything about the, the horrible, horrible stuff that happened to the unborn. Uh, at least I say that, the unborn deserve much more attention, much more attention. And that's why I say it's very unfair to Governor Romney because somehow for Trump, Fox stand, I believe that clearly behind Trump, but Romney no, that's not the case. So that's why one of the reasons I say that Obama encouraged people to kill the unborn, and Trump stepped on their corpses to the presidency. And I want to add, with the help from Fox. So okay. Also about one more topic that the mainstream media just no, not even dare to touch it, like the Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve is not the government. It's not owned by the government. Even the president got the power to appoint the chairman, but the Federal Reserve owned by private citizens, just a few families, few families. So that's why I say nobody dare to challenge. Nobody dare to challenge. So I'm going to dig deep into this one later, but now let's move on to Bill O'Reilly. I'm not really sure about all the sexual allegations uh, related to Bill O'Reilly, but as I promised before, I want to prove that he's been in his own no spin zone, in his own no spin zone at the time. And now he's out of Fox already, but for me, I think that's part of the deal only. It's just they trading the pawns between the two parties, but just so that's why just forget about why he he left Fox or why he was fired from Fox. But let's say briefly about why I say he was spinning. The first example is Water, the pinhead. Uh, this reporter somehow, at the time, he tried to interview the liberal professor, and I remember, the professor tried to hide and come to his apartment already and try to close the door. And Jesse Water even stick his leg uh, into the door and try to prevent the professor to close the door. That is so outrageous. At least for anyone who call yourself a civilized reporter, a civilized journalist, no, you are not allowed to do some sort of really uncivilized action like that. When you try to interview them and they don't want to answer, leave them alone. Leave them alone. That's it. And not to mention about try to put your own leg into his door. Maybe the professor. I think that guy is maybe too nice. Too nice. I was not really sure why Jesse Water was that aggressive, but I just want to say that it's related to some sort of the flag at the university, but I forgot. But the main thing is what? The main thing is a civilized reporter, journalist, no, not allowed to do those things. All right, Water, the pinhead. If you watch, you have to remember that. So next time you should behave promptly and appropriately. And that's why I say Bill O'Reilly spinning because what? Because from the obvious incident they show on Fox News, and Jesse Water is, I can say that Bill O'Reilly was the big mentor of Jesse Water at the time. So, but he said nothing. I'm not sure from behind the scene did he scold or did he yell at the pinhead at all. But at least on air, I didn't see anything. So that's why I say, at least on air, if he didn't want to be very critical, he just said that it's inappropriate. But he didn't say anything about it. So I say that is the form of spinning awesome. And one other example, this is more important because Bill O'Reilly was at the top of the cable news, right? And I don't believe he is that stupid because right after the presidential debate between Clinton and Trump, uh, he said that he was appalled and snapped his own hat back, saying, okay, he didn't know Secretary Clinton was supporting the possible abortion even up to the due date, meaning that maybe only take a few more minutes to deliver the baby. Still, she is supporting to kill the baby right at that time. And Bill O'Reilly, yeah, I don't know, he's not that stupid, I believe so, because he's at the top of cable news. So that's why I say he said he was appalled. No, that is only for the show and only try to convince the audience. But I do believe that, I still even remember many times the, uh, the Fox News anchors tried to even mention about that. And one of the incidents was Brad Bear in the town hall with Secretary Clinton asked specifically about that. And yes, Clinton did answer that yes, that is the way the law it is, and she is supporting it. So that's why I say for only two examples, I say right away, Bill O'Reilly also, spinning in his own no spin zone, and okay, that's very much about it for Fox News and Bill O'Reilly. Okay, so now let's move on. And I believe I just want to briefly mention only because, of course, I'm going to go back later on these topics. I'm going to talk about uh, why USA is too big to fail and how big we how big the question is, how big so we can defeat both China and Russia combined. You know, not to mention about the fat kids. The fat kids absolutely nothing. So that's why I came to the conclusion. Once again, the mainstream media, no one, absolutely no one, try to talk about this at all. I do believe they are not stupid, but they avoid. No one mentioned about this, so I have to mention. So who is the real sponsor? Who is the real sponsor of terrorism here? Actually, that is China. Why? So let's say who who is the fat kid sponsoring? Very much nothing, nothing, no one else, right? Only China, with China sponsor, North Korea and the fat kid can survive. Without China sponsor, the fat kid gonna fall apart. The fat kid and the North Korea are gonna fall apart. So that's why if you want to mention the the sponsorship of terrorism in the North Korea situation, you have to put China on the list, not North Korea. Okay, that's one of the reasons why I say the United Nations is not going to work because look like it's only the game of the big guys like China, like our country, like Russia, like England, France. Uh, so that's why I say we absolutely need to reform the UN to make it work for all nations. We have to be, at least, in terms of the fairness and the justice, we have to recognize all nations. So for now, the UN is just like the game of the powerful and healthy. So that's not good. For the USA ourselves, of course, the USA is indispensable because we are very, very important in the world in terms of owning a lot of important technology. And just for example, like I say, why the fat kid is nothing because we can kill the fat kid anytime we want with our technology. So that's why, for example, we do have some sort of technology like they call the nano swimmers. in our blood is small to the point that they can put the nanostreamers into your blood and they can do anything to you. Uh, treat your illness or maybe cause the illness. Uh-huh. And few years back when I did the research, they said only in the development, but now I think this is ready to use already. And one more example is the camera. Okay, I have my own camera to capture the video, right? But I'm not really sure how many cameras are around me. Absolutely no idea. Because why? Because now the camera is just as small as the tip of, of the single hair. So that's why you can never see the camera. So that's why I say we possess absolutely the technologies that no one can touch. So that's why I'm very so worried. I'm very worried about, where the heck the hidden dirty beings are leading us into. I'm not sure leading us or pushing us into, pushing us maybe to down to the canyon. So that's dangerous. That's very dangerous. That's why I say I really hope I do have the power to convert them, but just wait and see. Wait and see. Okay. And one more time, I'm gonna go through the old videos at a time. I prepare for the. I think I can call the last attempted forecast back in early May. Early May. Also, the occasion was Mother's Day, and also the occasion was the fall of Saigon on the April of on the April 30th. So I did mention some very sensitive stuff in there, but that's why I say I'm gonna go back to those videos later, maybe in the next video, because now the video is just too long already. So I'm gonna stop right here and, uh, and one more time I want to say that yes, for this combat, these videos I'm gonna record in the next few days are very important, at least to me and to anyone who try to follow my steps for the curiosity or for whatever reason you want, but very important. So that's why I have a very long list here. So okay, try your best to follow the list. I'm gonna show the list again when I record the next video, so you know that that's a continuous. And for now, I'm gonna sign it out. And okay, I'm not gonna forget to say that with all the turbulence I'm facing, I'm very much still at peace. So okay, happy and very happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas to everyone. I want to say Merry Christmas because even over a week ago, I think already, for someone just already saying Merry Christmas to me. So this is the season of Jesus. So I encourage people to talk about Jesus himself in your Thanksgiving dinner and what Jesus has to do, and does Jesus approve the partial birth abortion, or are we a nation of Jesus. And we call someone, at least on Fox, they call our nation is a Christian nation. So let's ask those kind of questions because I know that at the Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow, it's very sensitive. It's very sensitive to talk about any political issue. So I ask you, if possible, to talk about Jesus and abortion. So Jesus got a chance to live, right? To get out, to live and contribute to the society. Why? Why the unborn? We don't allow the unborn to, why we deny the right to live from the unborn. So, okay, one more time. Happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas to everyone.